Alright guys, first things first. Lots of people ask me what I bring to the range with me. As a woman, I'm sure all of us overpack, which is not necessarily a bad thing because every time I'm out shooting and someone's like, oh my god, I don't have a blah blah blah, I got you. So, I just gave you a real quick run through of all the stuff that was inside of my range bag. I'm just going to go over it in a little more detail for you. So, before I even step foot on the range, sunblock and bug spray if it's outdoors, obviously. If it's indoors, I don't need those things, but definitely want to have them in my range bag because I do shoot outside as much as often as I can in the summertime. Also, Pro Grip. This stuff's really nice, so especially when it's hot outside, you put some on your hands, you put them on your contact points, so wherever your skin's coming in contact with the gun, not every gun's going to have like a really aggressive texture on it, so the more tacky you can make your hands to get a better grip on that gun, the better. So I always keep that in my range bag. This is only in my range bag because when I go out of town, I like to dry fire in my hotel room the night before, and it's a shot timer. So my shot timer, it's a Pocket Pro 2. I really like this a lot. You can get this on Brownells. This one is really nice because you can set a par time to it. So par time is when you say, I want to make my draw 1 second. So you set the beep for 1 second. So you put it on, hit it, you're going to hear boop, you get your draw up. The second beep is going to go boop when it's 1 second. So you need to try and make sure that you hit that goal for yourself, which is a really nice training tool. I like it a lot. I use it at home and on the road. So that's always in my range bag. Another thing I always have in my range bag is my eye and ear protection. So my hearing protection of choice, I really like it a lot. I've been using them for about 1.5 years now, are Walker GSMs. These are the razors. So see, nice, pretty pink logo on the side. They come in black and teal, they come in black and black, so whatever your fancy is, they probably have a color for you. They're really nice. I like them a lot. They are electronics, so I can use them as regular earmuffs, or I can turn on the electronics, so I'm actually amplifying the ambient sound around me so I can hear an instructor's instructions, and I can hear a range officer's instructions, you know, when to be ready, when to be prepared. I can hear all the talking going on around me. As soon as there's anything over a certain decibel, the electronic part shuts off, so you're having the same protection you would with regular earmuffs, but when there's no shooting going on, you can hear what's going on around you, which is really nice. I replaced the Walker pads on mine with NoiseFighters, which are really nice. They're like a squishy silicone gelatin kind of feeling inside. They're really comfortable on the head, and they have a little cutout groove on the top here for when you have your eye protection on. There's a review in the last video on these. It's called Can You Hear Me Now? It's a really awesome video. You should check them out. Really great product, veteran-owned company. I always have those with me on the range. Hubby surprised me, came home one day with these little guys. These are by Walkers. This clips right onto my belt and holds onto my hearing protection right at my side here. So when we're in between stages, we're not going to be using our hearing protection, or when we're shooting is done, all done for the day, and we're cleaning up, I don't want to have to stop, go and put all my stuff down. I just take my ears off, I put them in this little hook, little latch holds them on my hip. That's really nice. My eye protection, I keep clipped to the outside of my bag so they're easy to get on and off. Sometimes when you pull up to a range and you park at the parking lot, there's already shooting happening depending on what time of day you get there. So you want to make sure that your eyes and ears are readily accessible without having to dig through your range bag to get them just to step out of your vehicle. So this is really nice. I do have a pair of shaded ones. These are Brownings. And then I have a pair of clear ones, which are nicer for indoor shooting. So I do keep both of those in that little zipper pouch on the outside of my bag. When you're shooting outside and it's hot, don't always want to use those big old chunky earmuffs on there. It's sweaty, it's hot, it's just too hot for earmuffs. So I get some of these little disposable squishies. I got a nice little set of little silicone earplugs. They're by Surefire, so you can wear those too, just so that you don't have all of that heavy weight on your head suffocating you in the summer when it's hot. Okay, moving on to gun and magazine pouches, which is very exciting. I have a really nice magazine pouch here. This one's by Shooter's Connection, so it is my favorite color, and it holds all of my mags in there nicely. Mec-Gar mags, some CZ mags. The Mec-Gar mags are actually really nice. They're the ones who make CZ's magazines for them, so they are the same quality as a factory CZ mag. So I got 6 of those, because if you'll notice, on my gear belt, I have 5 mag pouches, plus the one that I start with in my gun. So 6 mags. It's a lot to carry around, but I shoot production. I can only have 10 rounds in a magazine, so 60 rounds. It's not excessive, I guess. I keep my pistol inside of this pistol pouch here. Nice little zipper on the top to keep it contained. And here she is, the star of the show. So my Shadow 2. Nice little red dot on the front. I love it. Excuse me, it's not a red dot, it's a fiber optic. But it is a red dot in appearance. Let's see. I've been using MD Precision ammo for a long time. It's a 147 grain poly-coated. These are really, really nice. The heavier the grain is on a longer barrel, the more it keeps your nose down when you're shooting, so there's a lower recoil, but it's not low enough to where I can't meet minimum power factor in USPSA. So that's a really great ammo company. The owner's really awesome. I use a Lula loader, which I've actually painted because everyone's got one of these things and mine had to be different. So one of the most important things about shooting, I guess, is that you're not tired. So boom. Strike Force is always in my range bag. I also am obviously always on my phone. So I have a phone charger, and it's got a little USB port on. I just toss that in my range bag because nothing's worse than a dead phone on match day. Extra scrunchies, Carmex, and chocolate chunk cookie hand sanitizer. Most ranges outdoors have a bathroom. I take that back. Most ranges you're going to shoot at don't have a bathroom. They're a bathroom, but they're a porta potty. Half the time the hand sanitizer is out, so you have to have your own. I always bring my own. Not to mention snacks on the range. You probably want to sanitize your hands, wipe them down a little bit before you put your hands to your mouth because of all the lead. So, de-lead wipes. And take the lead off of your hands when it's snack time or when you're all done for the day. I like these individual pouches because they're easy and they fit into my range bag without taking up a lot of space. But if you have a bigger range bag or you have a lot of people you're accommodating, boom. Lots of towelettes. You're going to take the lead off of your hands. Obviously, if you can use a lead removing soap with water to wash your hands and scrub your hands, that you're going to get the best results as far as removing the lead from your hands. But when you're out in the middle of nowhere and there's no running water, hence having to use a porta potty, de-lead wipes, they work really great. I have an inner belt, so my inner belt goes through my belt loops. Once that's on, my outer belt goes on around that. My belt is starting to get a little bit too big on me, which is very exciting because I've lost a bunch of weight. But because of that, I have to have a little connector here. So when I put my belt on, I slide that little guy right over top and it holds my belt down in place so it's not coming off. The more contact points of Velcro out I can have from the outer to the inner, the more stable my belt is going to be. And as you can see, a lot of the inside here is taking up a lot of that Velcro. So all those mag pouches you can see, that's all parts where my belt is not coming in contact with my inner. So I can use all the stability on my belt as I can. So that is a good thing to have with you. Any kind of belt keeper is just fine. This one's by Double Alpha Academy and it's kind of getting worn really bad because I've been using the hell out of it. So lots of contact points on your belt. The things you would have in your range bag that you hope you would not need, especially when you're out at a match or out traveling and far from home, extra parts. So I do have some extra parts in here. I got an extra plate for my mag pouch, which I just dropped. A couple Allen tools, more backings for my mag pouch. I have extra backup batteries for my electronic earmuffs. Yes, my earmuffs will still work if the batteries die, but ideally I'd like to hear what's going on around me, so I do have extra batteries. A little extra lubrication. This is Lucas. It's their outdoor line. It's a really nice, like thick synthetic oil. So I use that. I also recently started using Slide Glide, which is really awesome. I'd never used it prior to a month ago, and a friend of mine who helped me out with replacing a part of my gun put it on my gun to lubricate it after we put it back together, and it's like a baby's butt. It was super smooth. I absolutely love this stuff, so I'm gonna start using that from now on, I think. Another thing you'd hope that you would not need while you're on the range is going to be some sort of a mag cleaning tool. So the end goes here, this goes to the bottom of your magazine, pops your base plate off, you're gonna take all your guts out, you're gonna run that through the inside. I've only had to use this once during a competition, and I was in Florida. We were shooting in the sand, and every time I did a mag change and dropped my mag on the ground, it was just filled with sand. It was awful. So between every single stage, I had to take the gun apart, take the magazine apart, run that pipe right through the inside of the magazine, get all the sand out, run a rag through to make sure I got it all, put everything back together, and reload all of my magazines. So yes, it was a huge pain. It was an awesome match though. I had a great time. And two things you'll want in your range bag for the end of day. Now, end of day at a match, most times you're gonna have to help tear down. If you're doing like a 2 or 3 day match and you're shooting on day 1 or 2, you're not gonna be tearing down because you have to leave those stages up for day 3 people. People are shooting day 3. So you want to, if you're shooting the last day of a match especially, or if you're shooting a local indoor where they're going to be taking that stage down at the end of the night, you wanna make sure that you have a good pair of work gloves with you so you can help tear the stage down without ruining your manicure or without getting splinters in your fingers, because we're all human and gloves aren't just for girls. Also, nice pair of needle nose, pull out any of the staples. Alright guys, that's what's in my range bag. I let you in on all my little secrets. I'm going to show you in the description links so you can get each of these items if you're interested in them. And I would love it if you would put in the comments things that you like that I don't have in my range bag already, because I'm always loving to try out new products. So please leave me some love, give me some tips, let me know what you like.